Greetings, Opals ILL users. In this tutorial, I'd like to show you how to add a new user to your library's ILL system. Before I do that, I'd like to thank Penny Sweeney of the Cayuga Onondaga Boise School Library System for allowing me to use her system, and in addition to use the Auburn City School District and specifically Auburn High. I would also like to note that there are no real names in this clip. Everything is fictitious in the spirit of confidentiality. So I have the Auburn City School District up, and specifically Auburn High School. I'm going to click New User. You can use a salutation if you like. I'm going to use Ms. in this case, and I'm going to use Zoe Hoyt, H-O-Y-T. The address line I don't see filled out very often. Of course you can, the city, state, and zip. The phone number is helpful in the event that someone needs to get a hold of you for a problem with the ILL request, or etc., etc. Anything in the ILL context, perhaps someone would like to talk to you. You'll see in the facts, of course, you could put that in. I don't see that filled in hardly at all anymore. The email is critical, and that's why it has the red star. So I'm going to use my email. All right. The status is active. Of course, if you're adding a new user, it would be active, but let me just show you the options, suspended or deleted. So if someone is using your system last school year and this year they're not within your library, you can delete that user or suspend their account. The user type. This is in direct proportion or in direct relationship to the permissions. So if I use user type ILL, this means that the new staff member in your library can place an ILL request and fill, but can't do anything else. Often that's the case. If I choose staff, you'll see that they can add a new user, edit the new user, reserves, things like this, view and print notices, etc. If I choose admin, everything is filled in. So you'll want to think about what the user will be doing in your library and then assign the appropriate permissions. I think in this case I'll just assign ILL permissions, place and fill. I don't need a barcode. I don't really need a user ID, but I will put in, I'll put it in without a space, Zoe Hoyt. The login name, Zoe, and the password I'll make the same. A note about passwords. Oftentimes when we do it for you from our tech support, my colleagues oftentimes will assign the password test pass. Penny or any other school library system director or coordinator or staff member may assign a typical password for all new users, but you always have the opportunity to change it. And then you'll see force password change on the next login, and of course you can fill in a note. I'm going to save this, and you'll see right away there's Zoe Hoyt, the phone number, the email. If I click edit, I see what permissions, I see some data. I could add more permissions, and then I could update the record. So let's say I wanted to allow the new person to say add a user or edit a user. I could click those and then update that person's record. I'm going to just simply cancel this. I'll add one more user. I'm going to add a new user. I'll give them a title of Mr. And it's Martin Smith. No address line I need, no city, state, or zip. The phone number, I will use a phone number. I will not use a fax. I'm going to email, and I'll put my email in, and this is critical to run the ILL system properly. Excuse me. The status, this is active for a new user, but I will show you that if you have a user that was with you last year or over the last few years and they've left, you can delete their account. But for a new user, it defaults to active. The user type, this will be in direct proportion to all these permissions. So if I choose user type ILL, this new user in my library could place an ILL request or fill an ILL request. If I choose admin, that gives the person in all the permissions. So you'll have to think about what does the person you're adding do in the library, or maybe a school library system director, or a current librarian in a library would assign the next coming librarian or a new librarian in the system at that school or university, any library you're in, the same permissions. In this case, I'm just going to choose ILL. So this new person, Martin Smith, can do ILL and fill ILL requests. The user ID, I'm just going to put in Martin Smith. The login name, I'm going to use Martin. The password, I'm going to use Martin. I can force a password change on the next login, and I can put some notes in. I'm going to save this new added ILL user. And now we have 2 new users. And all these annoying pop-ups from Chrome. Sorry about that. When you add the new user, that user's email will be activated immediately, and they will be sent a note that your account has been created for the school library systems catalog. If I had logged in a slightly different way, it might say for the Auburn High School or the Auburn Central School District, depending on how you log in. To reset your password, I can click Reset Password, and it takes me right back to the user, and let's look at the user. That will be probably Martin Smith. So let's go back to this, and the new password will be Apple Tree. And I'll click OK. My password has been reset, and now I'll have a look at the user's account. Because I'm logged in a little differently than many of you may be logged in, I had to do a little switch, and I made the location the Auburn High School. Now I can go to Administration, Locations, or Users Management, and in a moment it'll come up. I can click my users, and we see, hang on just a second. Again, because of my login, I have different rights. So what I did was I just went, when I clicked Admin, Locations, Users Management, I chose CAY BOCES, Auburn City, Auburn High, and we see the 2 users I just added. I'm going to click the Martin Smith. Now, I used my email, the same email for 2 people, which you should never do, okay? So I'm just going to change this because I was going to change it. I'm going to change this to 1234. Excuse me. I'm going to put in a new password. What I did was I had to click change, and it gave me these options. 1234, and I'll confirm it. 1234. All right, and I'll update my account. There. So I've updated Martin's account, and if I had used separate emails, which you will use, that person will get an email, can click Reset Password, and put their new password in. When they get the email, it won't look quite like mine because I'm logged in as a higher level user. It would look like it would just be the Auburn City School and the Auburn High. Now I'm going to just delete these 2 users. So I'm in the users area. By the way, there'll be another video coming out on how to move a user from one school to another. Okay, so I'm going to delete both these users by simply clicking the edit, clicking delete, clicking OK, and now that user's gone, and now I will edit. choose delete, click OK, and now I have no users at Auburn High School. I hope this video has been helpful, and if you have any questions, please contact tech support via email, support@opalsinfo.net, or give us a call at 877-331-1022. All the best.